Imagine this. You finally buy the car you've always wanted. A bigger TV, a better phone, more clothes, more subscriptions. At first, it feels amazing. You tell yourself, this is it. I've made it. But a few months later, you check your bank account and wonder, why do I still feel broke? Because nobody tells you the most expensive part of buying something isn't buying it. It's owning it. And by the end of this video, you'll discover the 10 rules that helped millions of people escape the endless cycle of spending more, stressing more, and still feeling like they never have enough. Rule number 7 completely changed the way I think about money. And if you ignore rule number 10, there's a good chance you'll spend decades working for things you don't even care about. Let's begin. Most people think financial problems come from not earning enough. But that's only half the story. Because every time your income increases, your lifestyle quietly expands with it. A slightly nicer apartment, a slightly better car, a few more subscriptions, a few small upgrades. Nothing feels extreme. Yet somehow, the raise disappears. The bonus disappears. The extra income disappears. This invisible force has a name. Lifestyle inflation. And it's one of the biggest reasons why people earning 6 figures still live paycheck to paycheck.
Times. The other buys a $40 jacket and wears it twice. Who made the smarter purchase? The first person. Because the real price wasn't the sticker price. It was the cost per use. The same principle applies to almost everything. Gym memberships, kitchen gadgets, streaming services, expensive hobbies. Before buying anything, ask yourself, how many times will I realistically use this? Because the cheapest purchase isn't always the lowest price. It's the one that delivers the most value over time. And this one question alone can save you thousands of dollars every year. But the next rule is even more brutal, because it exposes what you never truly wanted in the first place. Rule number 2, the replacement test. Walk around your house. Look at everything you own. Now ask yourself, if this disappeared tomorrow, would I buy it again? If the answer is no, you've just discovered something important. You paid for something that added very little value to your life. We accumulate things slowly. Impulse purchases, trendy gadgets, decorations, random online deals. Each item seems harmless, until one day your closets are full, your garage is packed, your credit card balance grows, and you're surrounded by things you don't even remember buying. The replacement test cuts.
Rule number 3. Don't upgrade out of boredom. Your phone works perfectly. Your car runs fine. Your laptop does everything you need. Then a commercial appears, a YouTube ad, an influencer review. Suddenly, what you own feels outdated. Not because it stopped working, but because someone convinced you that newer means better. This is one of the most profitable psychological tricks in modern history. Manufactured dissatisfaction. Making people unhappy with things that already serve them well. Here's the rule. If it still does the job, delay the upgrade. Wait 30 days. Ask yourself, what problem does this actually solve? If the answer is, it just looks cooler, you probably don't need it. Because every unnecessary upgrade steals money from your future investments. And over decades, those small decisions compound into hundreds of thousands of dollars. But knowing this still isn't enough, because companies have made spending effortless. Which is why rule number 4 changes the environment itself. Rule number 4, create friction for spending. Think about how easy it is to spend money today. One click, one tap,
one fingerprint scan. That's all it takes. No pause, no reflection, no resistance. Now compare that to saving money, researching investments, setting up transfers, building an emergency fund. It's harder. So here's the solution. Make spending inconvenient. Delete saved payment information. Unsubscribe from promotional emails. Remove shopping apps from your home screen. Wait 24 hours before buying anything non-essential. And at the same time, make saving automatic. Automate transfers. Automate investing. Automate good decisions. Because discipline is unreliable. Systems are powerful. The less you rely on willpower, the more likely you are to build wealth without constantly fighting yourself. And the next rule might be the most shocking of all, because most people have absolutely no idea how much stuff they actually own.
Rule number 5, count what you own. Here's a challenge. Count how many pairs of shoes you own, how many t-shirts, how many coffee mugs, how many subscriptions quietly charge your account every month. Most people have no idea, because accumulation happens gradually. One purchase here, one sale there, one just-in-case item. Until eventually, you don't own your stuff. Your stuff owns your attention. The act of counting does something powerful. It forces awareness. You stop buying blindly. You begin noticing patterns. You realize you already have enough in categories where you thought you needed more. Awareness changes behavior, because it's hard to solve a problem you refuse to measure. And once you see how much you already own, the next rule becomes almost impossible to ignore. Rule number 6, rent before you buy. People often fall in love with the fantasy, not the reality. They imagine becoming a photographer, a cyclist, a musician, a camper, and they immediately spend hundreds or thousands of dollars on equipment. Then reality arrives. The hobby isn't what they expected. The excitement fades, and expensive gear collects dust. Instead, test the experience first. Rent it, borrow it, try it. Because the goal isn't to own the identity. The goal is to discover whether the activity genuinely improves your life. The smartest financial decisions aren't made through excitement. They're made through experimentation. But sometimes, the biggest expenses aren't the obvious ones. They're the hidden costs nobody talks about.
Rule number 7, the lifestyle multiplier, 1521 through 1755. This rule changed the way I think about money forever. Every purchase has children. Buy a boat? You don't just buy a boat. You buy maintenance, insurance, storage, repairs, accessories, fuel. Buy a luxury car? You buy higher insurance premiums, more expensive repairs, specialized service, higher expectations. The original price tag is only the beginning. Before buying anything major, ask, what expenses come attached to this decision? Because the true cost of ownership often multiplies over time. And understanding this one principle can protect you from years of financial stress. But avoiding stress isn't enough. At some point, you need to answer one uncomfortable question. How much is enough? Rule number 8, define enough. Society has an unwritten rule. Earn more, spend more, upgrade more, repeat forever. But what happens if you never decide what enough looks like? You'll chase a finish line that keeps moving. A bigger house, a nicer neighborhood, a more expensive vacation, another status symbol. And no matter how much you achieve, satisfaction stays just out of reach. people who experience...
Rule number 9. See money as optionality. Most people think money buys things, but the greatest benefit of money isn't consumption, it's choice. Savings give you options. The option to leave a toxic job, the option to move closer to family, the option to take time off, the option to start a business, the option to say no. Financial freedom isn't waking up on a yacht. It's waking up knowing that your decisions aren't controlled by desperation. Every dollar you save isn't just currency. It's flexibility, security, time, control over your future. Which brings us to the final rule, the one that keeps all the others alive. Rule number 10. Declutter continuously. Most people declutter once a year, if that. They clean everything, feel productive, then slowly return to old habits. But lasting change doesn't happen through dramatic events. It happens through small, repeated actions. Every month, remove what no longer serves you. Cancel unused subscriptions. Donate unused items. Sell forgotten purchases. Reevaluate habits. Ask yourself, is this still adding value to my life? Minimalism isn't a destination. It's maintenance. It's choosing intentionally again and again. Because life changes. Needs change. Priorities change. And the people who thrive financially aren't the ones who never make mistakes. They're the ones who regularly course correct.
One day, you realize something. The moments that mattered most weren't the things you bought. They were the dinners with family, the laughter with friends, the freedom to spend your time the way you wanted, the peace of knowing you were prepared for tomorrow. Financial independence isn't about becoming cheap. It's not about saying no to everything. It's about saying yes to what truly matters. Every unnecessary expense you avoid is a vote for the future you want. Less stress, more freedom, more options, more life. Because at the end of the day, the goal isn't to die with the most stuff. The goal is to build a life you don't constantly need to escape from. And maybe having less isn't losing something. Maybe it's finally making room for everything that actually matters. Before you click away, I want you to do one thing. Look around the room you're sitting in right now. Ask yourself, if I had to start over tomorrow, what would I buy again? Drop the number one thing you never repurchase in the comments. And if this video changed the way you think about money even a little, subscribe. Because every week we break down the psychology of wealth using simple stickman stories, so you can build more money, more freedom, and a life designed on your own terms. I'll see you in the next one.